Okay, so first step is to remove here the parcel shaft. Mine is homemade. Pajero didn't come with one, this one. And €300 on the to buy one on the dealership is too much. So did this with wood, some carpet on the top, nobody noticed the difference. So let's take this out. Then next step, we can fold the seats forward, back first, with this tab here, pull and push them, pull, push. So next step, to remove the carpet to access the panel here, we have to remove this piece of trim here. Mine is just held with 5 bolts. They are Phillips head bolts. To speed up the process, I'm gonna use an impact driver. So here it comes, the train. So moving on, pull up those anchors so you can move the carpet. Now just pull up the carpet. Out of the way, if possible. Well, this is the sound deadening. Let's also remove it a little bit out of the way. There we go. Moving the sound deadening and the carpet. We have access here to the access panel to the tank. So to remove the access panel, we have 6 screws. They are 12 millimeters. Then again, to speed up the process, impact driver. Okay, so after removing all of the bolts, there's the cover, metal. Now we have access to the tank. Okay, now with access here to the tank, first thing I would recommend is to soak those small bolts in WD-40 or any kind of penetrating oil, because they have been there for years. As far as I know, those ones are here for 19 years already, and that's a long time. So you can get a pair of your favorite screwdrivers and start to undo those hose clamps, because we need to take out the fuel line and the return fuel line so we can work here with the minimum of conditions. Just push on a fuel line, it will eventually pop off. There you go. There we go. Ideally, we don't want anything falling down on those ones, so let's cover them. Let me see if those bolts will fit. Too small. This one, perfect size. We'll cover this all, and I can move this around. Be careful to not damage this. This wire here is the signal for your tank level and also your reserve light. So make sure you don't damage this. I'm just seeing those cables are just too tight. They should not be pushed this way. They should have a little bit of slack. Yeah. This one should work. Perfect. Let me take this out of the way. Okay, perfect. With this done, I can clean some of this dirt. I don't want this falling down on the tank. I'm gonna use a blower to blow it up. You can use our compressor, it's the same thing. Yep, way better than it was. So let's see if those bolts will want to cooperate. Here I don't recommend using any impact driver whatsoever. You can strip the bolts quite easily. They are 8 millimeters, for those of you guys wondering. Okay, one is cracked loose. Let's see another one. Another one crack loose. Another one. Let's just keep soaking in them. Okay. Now I have more 3, but the extension won't work there for sure. So let me take out the extension. They almost feel like a 9 millimeters because they are full of dirt over the years and rust, and they swell up. Whoop. Hope you still can't see what I'm doing. So this one is okay. Just keep pouring the WD-40. Okay, always pushing down on the bolt, make sure you won't strip it. Yeah, quite well, doing well. Actually, doing quite well. See, some dirt got loose from the bolts. I'm gonna blow it again with some air. Okay. This one is still a little bit stubborn. Probably the most rusted over here. One. Two. Three. Four. Five. Well, last one. Six. So it's loose. Very gently pushing up, and here you go. Can you see the reason why I'm changing this? Look at the crud, it's here. I was having a little bit of hesitation on the full throttle and have my pump and a bigger turbo than stock. And I know it was fuel delivery. Already on the O-ring on the pump, so I know it's not the pump. I know it's not the fuel lines. Every single fuel line was brand new. So I knew the issue was this now. Look at the crud. Okay guys, hope you can see this. Look at the amount of crud we have on this filter. It's amazing. Just look at this. Look what is in my finger. That's all crud of 19 years of fueling up. So you have an idea, this Pajero has almost 200 k. So still not at 200, around 192, 193, I don't quite remember. 193,000 kilometers, let's call that. And see, and that's original miles. I know for sure it's the original miles, not fake odometer ones. Just look at the amount of dirt. It's amazing how they still run. Jesus. Jesus. Trying to remove the filter. I hate clip-on styles. There you go. Okay. Just look at this. Jesus. Well, that's a lot of crud for sure. Okay, so here is the original part. There's the part number, which is MB129894. This part cost me €8 and 24 cents on the original dealership. And look at this. So, sorry, you could not see. Brand new, 19 years later. So it was more than due time to change this. Now I'm just gonna clean up this, just make sure it's clean inside the tubes. This one that takes the filter is the pickup tube. This is the return. Just gonna blow through them with compressed air, just make sure it's clean, and I will install the new filter. Okay guys, so I just blow it with compressed air. I also use some brake cleaner. I put it here through the ends and then let it run a little bit and then push it against again with compressed air. So there we go, new filter. Just slide it in on the wall. These two tabs here on the top will line up and they will click. One, and it's not enough for you, just let me do this properly. Clip and clip, yep, there you go. Now you can see those tabs here on the top. They are clicked and in place. So the fuel filter, the pre-filter in the tank, it's properly mounted on its place. So now I just want to have a look in the tank. I'm gonna see how much dirt I have inside of it. If I think I have too much, I'm gonna drain the tank and clean the tank properly. Okay guys, so I have analyzed the tank and it's a little bit dirty. And I don't feel it's a good idea to be putting a brand new filter on a dirty environment. So I'm gonna pump out the fuel. There is a bolt under the tank you can undo and will get out the fuel. And this is how you clean it, because you're gonna clean it with whatever product you want, gasoline, whatever you want. And it's gonna drain through that bottom plug. The thing is, the recipient I have to put on the bottom of the Pajero doesn't take all the fuel I have here. So I'm gonna use a pump I have with a drill, and I'm gonna pump it up to another recipient that I have that will take that fuel. So let me start the job here. Pump it in, pump it out. Almost empty tank we have here. Now the rest is minimal residue. I don't gotta worry too much. I've almost of the fuel here. Okay, let me take this outside. As you guys saw, I had there a quarter of a tank, but actually turns out to be more than a quarter of a tank. But just 5 minutes with that pump, done. That's a drill pump. It's actually designed for water, but the impellers are actually plastic, so it's safe to do this. It doesn't overheat the fuel. That I'm saying that's the recommended way, which is not. The ideal way will be to take out the drain plug and have something with enough capacity to take in the fuel. So now let's clean it inside so I can drain the rest. And it's gonna be garbage, that diesel that I'm gonna take out. Let me see how I'm gonna do that. Okay. Okay, I hope you guys can see it. I'm holding the camera with my hands, so it's gonna be a little bit tricky, but we are underneath the Pajero now. As you can see, I have here drain pan, and I use for oil change. That's the diff. This is the left dryer. And here, on the left side, if we go, well, that's a little bit tricky. Oh, there we go. Can you see this? That is where you can find the drain bolt for the fuel. So let me go here. It's 12 millimeters, by the way. There you go. That's it. And more than this bolt is soaked in diesel fuel all its life, so it's gonna be easy to take out. You can see it's draining the fuel tank now. So that's a good time to go up and mess around with the fuel so it takes most of the dirt out while it's draining. Let's go there. As you guys can see, the tank is empty. Already cleaned it. That's always some things you cannot clean up. That on the middle is a cup it has where the suction filter is. That's in order to avoid sucking air when you're doing corners because of the slush of the fuel. Well, at this point I'm ready to refit the drain plug on the tank and start mounting everything up. Okay, so let's refit now the drain plug. Make sure you start it properly on its threads so you don't cross thread it. Okay, it's there. It's a matter of tightening it on place. Okay, that's it. Don't need anything else. And it's done here. Okay, just a side note so you guys know. That suction cup that I showed you that stays on the bottom of the tank where the in-line filter is gonna get the fuel from doesn't get fuel exactly from the bottom of the tank. It's a little bit above, like 1-2 centimeters above. So when you empty the tank, when you drain it, it won't drain that suction cup of the bottom. So you will have to, let me try to see if I can put some light here. It's a bit tricky. Space is limited. You can work okay, but film and work, that's another story. So you can see it. There you go. You see, it's clean mine. So I had to clean it with some rags to take the rest of the fuel up. So it's got really clean, and that's the way you want it. So you can put back on that suction cup there, the fuel filter and the assembly, the pre-filter assembly, so it won't start to clogging up right on the first start you gave. That's the way you want it. Okay, let's get back to assembly time then. Want to make sure you don't leave anything there. Make sure the neck, it's clean here. Are you gonna mount the assembly of the pre-filter? No dirt, nothing. Okay. Make sure you have a bad seal here. You don't want a bad seal here. Want to make sure it won't spill out any fuel. Just making sure everything is okay. It is. So take out your assembly. Make sure you already have to clean it on the bottom. I already cleaned this one. So remember the fuel lines, to put it back in the position that they were when you take it out, which was they were pointing forward. So let's go there and install this. I don't need so much light here. This one will be enough for this. There you go, perfect. In the proper place. So let's take the 8mm screws and let's bolt them one by one. Let's start them by hand. Make sure you start them squarely. You don't want to cross thread this. It will be a really bad day for you. Okay, we started by hand. Now let's screw them with the socket and the wrench. Here we go, the 8 millimeters. We put here the extension. Don't tighten one bolt until the end. Just go around. Okay, that's it. You don't need to tighten too much. Okay, so let's go back here and put the fuel lines back in place. I will start by the return line. Here you see. That's about right. Pretty what it was, the clamp. Let me bolt in. Okay. That's good enough, it won't get out of here. Same story for the other line that takes the fuel to the pump. Actually, before that, it takes to the fuel filter assembly. Okay, there we go. Okay, as you can see, this is done. Next step is the cover plate. Here we got it, but before that, I want to put a little bit of loop on the where the bolts bolt in. It's just some chain loop. Gunk, a lot of gunk. Okay guys, at this point it's done. We have replaced the pre-filter in the tank and also cleaned the tank, so just take the tools out. So at this point, replace the cover, isolation cover. Let's put back the carpet, making sure it goes through the anchors points and underneath the latches points for the seats. So let's push back the seats, pulling the stab, click, back up. There you go. At this point, just a trim piece. Get it here. The trim piece. Get some bolts start to line up here. There we go, it's here. As you may have noticed, I use the impact driver to take bolts out, but to put them back in, I prefer using hand tools just to make sure we don't strip anything. That's that. Parcel shaft back up. At this point you're all done. Just do not forget to put some fuel in the tank before you start up. That's it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Have a good day.